is live and you are on screen.
All right. Hi, I'm MixMastaPJ. This is American Gladiators for NES. For those of you who remember American Gladiators from forever ago, it's based on a TV show, and there's 4 levels in this game with 5 events in each level. We're going to be playing a lot of the traditional favorites, but they're not really traditional once you see them in NES form. That's about where the similarities to the TV show end. The Gladiators will have some hilarious quotes, but we'll probably try and skip through them really, really fast. But you know, I'll try to give you guys some feedback when we get to a couple of the auto scrollers here. So I'm ready to go when you guys are.
Sure,
all right, 3, 2, 1, go. All right, so first up we have Joust. Unlike the TV show, you actually have to beat 4 of these guys. And additionally, after you beat each one of them, you have to like jump between the platforms. That's okay, because the jump physics aren't too bad, except they're unique to this event only, and there's plenty of other times in the game where you have to jump, so it's kind of strange to be changing between physics engines all the time. It is what it is. Each gladiator has their own like vulnerabilities. Like some of them are vulnerable always up high, some of them are vulnerable up high first, then towards the middle, like this one is. And then when he blocks, if he were to block me there, I'd know to go back high. After every 3rd gladiator, a super stick will appear. If you grab it and then get the first hit on the last fight, then you get to beat the 4th gladiator with a 1-hit kill. So it's really, really, really important to get that. The next event we're going to do is the wall. That's the one that looks least like the TV show. I'd love to see the television studio that can put this thing inside. It's also the weirdest like NES control mechanism I've ever seen in my life. It plays like a fighting game where I'm like holding my fingers on top of the A and B button back and forth, because the A button controls your right hand while the B button controls your left hand. So and you move basically on the D-pad whichever way you're pressing it when you press that button. It's really important to spawn that 2nd gladiator there so we can get her to not be in our way when we go up here to try and spawn this gladiator. All right, and then we'll try and do this little trick to skip by this one tiny little hand grip there. And there's some gloves over there that we don't need in level 1. We'll talk about those in level 2, what they do. They have a couple different mechanisms there, but that's the wall. It's just 37 stories tall. All right. Man, you know what? They have infinity of them apparently, so they'll be fine. All right, next event we got Team and Cannonball. This looks really simple, and in level 1 it definitely is, but the things that change over the course of time are the platform speeds and the rope speed, as well as the synchro. Oh, I'll be quiet for this because the sound effects on these guys getting hit is incredible. This is the first like gladiator that ever gave me trouble when I was a kid and I played this game all the time, because I'd always just try to release right there and you'd come in at too high at an angle and he would always block you. So this one you actually have to wait till the 2nd come by to get the angle that you need. It felt like it was impossible before, but no, even the task does it on the 2nd playthrough, so, or the 2nd roll through there, so I don't think I'm missing anything. So easy Cannonball now. That's the event that I think gets the trickiest later. All right. After this, we got Powerball. Powerball is an auto-scroller, essentially. We just try to put the balls in the buckets and get as many points as we can until the timer runs out. So we can kind of manipulate them because every so many frames, I've never actually calculated it, the gladiator will head right towards you. And you know, you can kind of use that and abuse that to get them stuck behind the platforms, or behind the buckets rather, like that there. And the goal is to put a ball in all 5 buckets to get a 1-up. And in level 1, they give you 60 seconds. Level 2, they give you 55 seconds. And level 3, 50 seconds, and so on. So in these earlier levels, we can actually get 2 extra lives if we do it correctly. But even if we don't, hopefully we don't need those lives anyway. That's not really the point. But if we're going to be here for a minute doing it anyway, might as well try and score some points and get some swag. No one's actually done enough research yet to find out if like points scored or frames used or whatever controls RNG later in the game. There's not a whole lot of runners for this game, so I guess I'll take it upon myself to do that research at some point in time, but this would be the perfect event to be able to do that, because you can see that like the center container and the one and the outsides can really manipulate your score however you want. Assault is basically like a shmup. We have to shoot him 3 times before he hits us 3 times, except he likes to juke us sometimes too, and yeah. All right, cool, that was really fast and easy. Levels 3 and 4 of that are so much harder because his HP is 5 and 6 hits. You only have 12 bullets total, and it's just easier to run to the finish line instead and just try to not get shot 3 times and play dodgeball instead of assault. All right. So Joust 2, the patterns here where they're vulnerable get a lot trickier. So like this guy's going to be vulnerable in the middle, and then as soon as I do, he's going to be vulnerable low. As soon as he blocks low, I know he'll be back to the middle again, and vice versa. It's only like a 2-cycle pattern there. The patterns get really complicated in level 3. In level 4, the patterns actually get simpler, but they change so fast. So you need to make sure that you just kind of don't get hit. Also, the spacing is really important here. Like if you get just too close to the Gladiator, because he's just going to hit you no matter what. Whether you're blocked or not doesn't really make a difference. Your spacing is just what can cause that to happen. All right, let's see how this guy goes. The entire budget for this game was probably spent on sound effects, and that's great.
Yes.
That is
Not
just
in any way a bad thing.
yeah, it is absolutely great. All right, so I'll spawn the super stick.
Nice
Hit this guy right in the kneecaps. He goes right down. Easy peasy. All right, we got Wall 2 coming up. The walls look the most different. Like looks close enough to Joust 1. It's like the color palette's a little bit different. Wall 2, Wall 3, and Wall 4 look so completely different. They don't look like they're from the same game. There's a trick in here that we kind of abuse the mechanics to go diagonal through a spot that looks like we shouldn't be able to. And also there's a spot where we're actually going to use the gloves. And when you use the gloves, you actually don't have to use the A and B button to move anymore. You're like, oh, cool, finally, give your fingers a break. But then you lose like basically all precision because you're just using the D-pad and it's like flooring it through there. You're like full throttle through all these parts, so you're going to see how fast my guy goes. So like any kind of technical moves I want to make are now basically impossible because I'm not going to be able to press the D-pad for just like 1 frame and then immediately release it. So you try to take your time through there. On my world record runs, I try to get like right here before the gloves expire. So you can just see how much more careful. Oh, and then sometimes that happens where it'll just drop you out of there if you put 2 inputs in at the same time or something it didn't like. Usually it'll do that if there's an extra Gladiator or sprite on the screen, but yeah, right. They do kind of look like that. They're not flashing though.
This is where you got them from.
I guess. Or this is where they go after they lose their flashing ability.
Respect the lore.
Yeah. All right. That was a little better run with the gloves that time. A good in-game timer at the end of this level is like 70, so we're not too far off from that. We took our time a little bit in a couple spots there. Spawn this second Gladiator, and then we got to sprint past this last one. All right, cool.
That looks exhausting.
Yeah, it is. It's one of those things where it's like you try to use the EverDrive and practice it, and you get like 2 runs in on the wall. You're like, I can't do this again right now. I got to like play other events because my fingers are so sore. So there's a glitch that we're going to try and get here at the end of Human Cannonball 2. There's a pair of gloves in this level as well, but they don't let you go really, really fast like they do in the wall. What they do is they let you slide up and down the rope. They throw the gloves at the 3rd Gladiator, and if you catch them successfully, then you can use them for the 3rd and the 4th Gladiator rope. But we're going to try to use that to either skip the rope entirely and clip off the top of the screen, or we're going to, if we don't get that, then we're just going to get a 1-up at the top of the rope on the next guy here. So let's see if we can get this clip. It's going to be close. Oh, we're blinking.
What is that?
Oh, yeah, we got it. Yeah. Worst case scenario, we got a 1-up out of that, and we have to wait like 2 or 3 swings before it lines up perfectly. So that's a.
Why doesn't he use that power every event?
I know. Yeah. Yeah.
Wearing gloves.
So here we are at Powerball 2. Like I said, we got 55 seconds, kind of score as many points as we can. I wanted to talk about how I came across this game. I actually used to watch this TV show all the time at my grandparents' house when I was a kid. And I guess I was like 6 or 7 years old in 91 or 92. And I remember my grandmother taking me to this place called Kitty City. It was like the Maryland version. Yeah, it's like the Maryland version of Toys R Us knockoff in the early 90s. And I remember getting the ticket in the aisle and like taking it up to the counter and getting the game and whatnot. And before I started speedrunning this at all, I was fairly certain I had more hours logged on American Gladiators than anybody already. So it was natural to pick it up immediately. I wasn't like, I'm going to go on speedrun.com and try and find something that doesn't have a lot of players and see if I can get a world. No, I already knew that if there was someone that was going to be able to do it, it was going to be someone who's been playing it since they were a kid. So this was just natural for me to pick up. I've been playing it as my first speedrun games that I've been doing, and really excited to share it with you guys today. All right, so here's Assault 2. They moved the weapons a little bit into a more vulnerable place, and as I stated before, Laser now has 4 HP instead of the original 3, so we might not... Oh, wow, how did we not get shot there? Very fortunate. But we'll see if we can actually kill him. Usually in these later levels, we kind of just try to survive and get to the finish line, so that's fine. That works too. And that's level 2. We're halfway done. All right, so the joust in level 3 here is what I said before, has like the most complicated patterns. They're like 5 or 6 steps long, so if you kind of get hit or pushed back a little bit, you don't really know where to join in. Like you don't know, oh, is it going to be vulnerable high now or mid, or where is it? So you try to just make sure that you don't get hit. You worry about your spacing a lot more in this, and you got to be able to react more to blocks. Oh, well, we didn't, but okay, we didn't get punished. That's fine. That way you don't really get lost in the pattern and not able to jump back in and lose a ton of time just trying to figure out where it is. All right, so this guy is mids, then highs. All right, cool. This guy. Yep. A lot of highs here, and then a mid, and then a low. So, might not even have to go mid. Perfect. All right, this stick's coming out in a hurry. Wait, we're there. Perfect. And then, oh, we might get a 75 in game out of this. That's great. All right, wall 3 is my favorite of the walls. There's been like a recent development in like a fast move that you can do with the gloves late. It's a little bit risky, but we only got 1 death so far, so we can go for it. Whatever. Worst case scenario, we have to start the wall over, and everyone loves watching this. Some of the strats here, it doesn't look like I'm going particularly fast going diagonally, but you go the exact same speed diagonally as you do left to right, so you might as well go diagonally if you need to. It saves a lot of time. The fastest movement is obviously going up and down, because you can kind of skip rungs that way. But yeah, maximizing your diagonal movements when you're going to have to go left and right anyway can really save a lot of time via routing. So that's one part of the gloves there that's pretty miserable, is like I can't do this crazy trick there and cut that gap, because the gloves make that far too risky to try and do with any kind of precision whatsoever. All right, we'll miss that gap. All right, now here's that glove strat I was talking about here. So we got to duck under here and dodge this Gladiator. Oh, so close. All right, that's all right. Just 2, that's fine. We're going to lose so many in the Eliminator, don't you worry. All right, those are really good diagonals that time. No wasted movements there. All right. Yeah, you got to get those gloves quick so that they wear off faster down here. But yeah, we can kind of abuse the idea of what the game thinks you're supposed to be able to do and cut across there. What they want you to do is go up on that right side there, and then you have to worry about those Gladiators falling on you, and you kind of have to backtrack a lot too. So it's just faster to do that gap and wait for the gloves to expire. All right, let's see if we can get it this time. There we go. 2 more to beat. All right, perfect. All right, Cannonball 3 also has a clip at the end. It's a little bit harder to get, but it's not impossible. But if we don't get it, it's actually got the hardest Gladiator 4 in the game. It's got like a 3-frame window in which we can release on the 3rd pass through. So hopefully we can get it. Oh, this Gladiator is so much fun because it's so fast. No one is surviving that. That is so quick. Oh, this is the first long distance shot we have. This is nice. We're basically jumping at it blind. And that guy never saw it coming.
That's so painful.
Yeah. All right, so here's our gloves. We'll slide down our rope. Ah, it's okay.
Oh,
we missed this by a little bit, and we got launched in the air. That's fine.
Uncomfortable landing.
Yeah. That's like a 5 or 6 second loss. That's not usually too bad. Oh, we lost it again. That's fine.
Oh. Oh. That man's dead.
Yeah. Nope, there we go. All right, I'm letting it go too early. All right. Yeah, missing it on the 4th Gladiator is so much worse because then you have to do the 4th Gladiator without the gloves. There we go, finally. All right, let's see if we can get this clip. The slow rope is so punishing. Oh, we got a chance. Perfect, we did it. That's like a 15 to 20 second time save because the only window you have for how fast the pedestal is moving and that rope is going so slow is on the third time through after you grab it. So by getting the clip there, we saved all the time we lost in those deaths. So that's great. All right. So we got some Powerball here. I don't know if any of you guys actually watched the TV show growing up like I did, but
Hell yeah.
yeah. They tried to reboot it in 2008, but it was definitely not nearly as popular. I'd like to think, and I joke about it on my stream, that there's probably one universe out of the billions out there that in the early 90s that American Gladiators took over and professional wrestling was the one that died out instead, and that everyone's watching this on Mondays and Thursday nights. And man, if they ever invent a machine so I can visit that place, I'm in. Like, that would be so cool. It was just the coolest thing all the time growing up. The show was not so much about the gladiators as it was like a competition for these competitors to go on TV and get their butts kicked by these bodybuilders. So it was just like a bunch of schmoes that would go on and just get like tackled and like destroyed and by giant Q-tips or the human cannonball or fall off walls and stuff. It was really impressive. Yeah, Hang Tough was a serious event too. All right, so like I said before, in Assault 3 and 4, we probably aren't even going to actually try to shoot him much. But we can actually use the weapon that we have to kind of lure him over to certain places away from us. And that'll make it a little bit easier to make it all the way to the end without getting shot 3 times. So if we can make it here with a 41 or a 40, we're happy, and that's what we did. So yeah, it is a low budget Smash TV for sure.
Total carnage. I love it. I'd buy that for $1.
All right, so Joust 4 is... The patterns are much simpler, but they just change a lot quicker, and you know the colors are a little bit prettier. But other than that, it's still Joust. Like, he's already blocking high when I do that there after 1 hit. All right, cool.
Kind of reminds me of when you die in Space Harrier.
All right, so yeah, I'm getting the business from this guy. I used to have names for these guys, but I don't remember them all. I used to give all the Joust guys J first names and all the Cannonball guys, or Human Cannonball guys, H first names, but that has been lost on me from when I was a kid.
This is Jeff.
This is Jeff? Okay. It'd be funny if they were all J's, but that was actually Jeff with a G.
It is.
Okay, good. Oh, we didn't get the stick. Oh, you can fall off the left side of the screen. Apparently you can die that way, too. Also in the Eliminator. I'm glad that we don't have the super stick for the hardest gladiator in the game. No big deal. What's he going to do? Oh, well, he's going to block everywhere.
His name's also Jeff.
Okay. Yeah. All right, so hold on. Is he vulnerable anywhere? All right, we got highs. So.
Good thing we never fight the strong.
Yeah, I know. The old Earthbound. Ah, so close. Hi, there we go. Finally.
Yeah.
The worst part about dying on those or missing the super stick is, like, I still have more in-game timer left than if I'd beaten it normally. So now I have to wait here even longer than if I'd just beaten the game. Because normally you're thinking, oh, okay, cool, well, at least it took so long, I won't have to count down as much time. No, absolutely not the case. All right, this part of the wall is pretty tricky, so I'm going to need to get quiet for a sec. Ah, cool. All right, that's the hardest part there. It's kind of a new strat where we dash through there. Previously, only the TAS was doing that, and everybody else is going around to the right side and having that gladiator kind of run into one of, what's his name? Dr. Y, Mr. Y? Master Y's balls there and falling down that way. Part of the streamer's lore. And there we go. The dash there. Okay, cool. Yeah, this wall has a lot of like weird technical stuff you got to be careful of. Not so much the crazy sprinting there, except for that at the beginning. And we got one. Of course, we got our last gladiator at the end is going to be in a very unfortunate spot for us, so we'll have to just sprint and hope for the best. The gladiators basically are lasers coming straight at you. They don't care like what's in the way. So like I'll just put my hand down here and she'll fall down. It's just like, oh, your hitbox is like 1 pixel below. I better go down. All right, last gladiator. All right, cool. We are done with the wall. Wall is done. All right. Sadly, no glitches in Cannonball 4. The last gladiator is going to be a long distance one. So clipping through the ceiling would put us in Studio 37. So we wouldn't actually be able to find the last gladiator there. All right, but yeah, the platforms going slower here at the beginning is not too big of a deal. It's usually when the rope is going slow and the platforms are going fast that it's the most punishing. Like this one. All right. Oh, so close. All right. All right, so we'll get the second time by and then releasing the first time through. There we go. All right. Now we got to do a blind rope jump at these gloves. The gloves are basically our guide. We're just going to jump and hope we catch them. All right, cool. that way, worst case scenario, we grab this one up and we'll get 2 tries of this. But we're going to grab this rope on the second time through, and then we're going to release in the 4th pass through. So it's going to be a long time. All right, we'll get that. We'll go get our one up. Look how fast that guy is moving. It took me forever to figure out when they released of this thing correctly, and then I just found a game fact on it in 2007. It was like, oh, this is so much easier. So shout out to that guy whose name I can't remember right now, who drew the greatest ASCII logo ever for American Gladiators. That was real nice. Just before 6 o'clock, and we got him. Nice. All right, so we got Powerball, we got Assault, and then we have the Eliminator. Oh my gosh, those I feel like it was a prerequisite. Like it was not going to be submitted and counted for unless you wrote, crazy with your backslashes and asterisks to make the logo perfect. All right, so while we're doing this for 45 seconds, I'll talk about the Eliminator because that's coming up after Assault. You guys already know what Assault is. So the Eliminator is going to have 5 segments to it. It will have a platform segment where the Gladiators are throwing medicine balls at us. Then it will have a hand bike segment where the Gladiators are throwing medicine balls at us. Then it will have a conveyor belt segment where the Gladiators are throwing medicine balls at us. Then it will have another hand bike segment where the Gladiators are throwing medicine balls at us. And then finally it'll have a zip line segment where guess what? What do you think? What do you think? Oh no, that'd be ridiculous. They're not throwing anything at us in the zipline section, not at all.
The paper.
Yeah, and that's in the TV show, and that's actually in the Super Nintendo version, but not in the
That's my favorite part.
I know. That's what I've always dreamed of, just going through the paper. But we know that I would retire before I get the Eliminator anyway. All right, so we'll just try to not die here. We're not even going to try and shoot them because those weapons are in basically trap locations. Or if you go to it, you're just going to get lit up with tennis balls, or at least whatever those orange things are supposed to represent. I don't think I've actually ever seen an orange tennis ball in the wild. All right, that's all right. We can just get 2 more hits here. We'd be fine anyway. All right, cool. That's what they are. All right, so there's a glitch that we're going to try and get here in this hand bike. It happens about 10% of the time, which I don't know why it is, but it's based on the medicine ball patterns. And what happens is there is a hand bike up here for the start of the first hand bike section. And if we grab it and then we get hit by a medicine ball but then land back on the platform just before it, we'll try to grab the hand bike again, and it'll be like, oh, you didn't grab the hand bike yet? Well, let's put a hand bike there, and it'll spawn a second hand bike. Oh, that's bad. All right, good. It'll spawn a second hand bike, and then you can't move. So then you take the intentional death, and it's like, well, he's already been on 2 hand bikes. I guess he's on the second hand bike section, not the first hand bike section, and you skip like a minute and a half of the level. I've never actually had any of the world record runs that I've had actually get the second hand bike. That's all right. That was probably going to be a good medicine ball pattern too, but oh well. So we're hoping for it. It'll be really cool to get the glitch on stream here. If not, then I hope the next time I have a good run, it uses it. I know. Well, we don't want these medicine balls now, but I'm going to be screaming for one and hoping for one in a second. When I'm grabbing on that hand bike, we're going to be praying for one to hit us, because usually by then it's like, oh no, I don't want to throw one directly at you, when it would be very advantageous for us to get hit by one. So, oops. Oop, oop, oop. Yeah, if you duck, they bounce away from you, which is nice, but you can't duck in midair. So there's 2 jumps in this level that are basically just like jump and pray, where you're going to jump from such a high height that the ball that's going to hit you and potentially kill you is not even on the screen yet for you to react to. So they're both in the conveyor belt section, not in this section that I just seem to be screwing up. So hopefully we don't have to do the conveyor belt section. That would be nice. All right, that's fine. We're good there. One hit there is fine. All right. All right.
Lower center of gravity.
You know it. That's fine. All right. All right.
RNG.
Give me the prescription for the medicine ball right now. Come on, give me one. Hit me one time. So close. Ah! Oh, it's not gonna work. I was too far back. I wasn't able to jump on the platform. That's okay. We're on the hand bike. We're just gonna have to do the conveyors, and you have to. We don't get to skip it because we have to do that and then jump back on it and then get the second hand bike. And it was just we were too close to the left side of the screen, which apparently is more deadly than the medicine balls themselves. Sorry, here's a prayer. All right, we got hit by 1, and that was probably a bad jump. I could have waited a little bit, but all right, we got 8 lives, so I think we're okay. And if not, we still have like 3 continues in the bank, and then you get to see me try and get that glitch again, so it's fine. That's fine. Sis. All right, so everyone said, Nancy said a prayer, or what's her name? Paula said a prayer, and all of her friends were happy. Is that what it says in the Earthbound? How you beat Gygus?
What's Earthbound?
Right.
It's a video game.
I only know.
Kid with the bat from Smash.
Mama Dose.
I only know.
There we go. We did it. All right.
Game show based.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Oh.
Have you guys seen that speedrun of Family Feud where the person did it with all wrong answers?
Yeah.
There's like ridiculous answers that aren't even close.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah.
That was a good task.
All right, hold on. We don't want to go there. Wait. All right, we're good there. Okay, this is the last prayer jump. Look how bad that would have been. All right, cool.
Nice. If you do the glitch here, does bad things happen?
No, it just puts you right here. I've actually done the glitch where I've gotten so far ahead that I got a third hand bike on the first second. Did not do anything cooler.
Oh.
I was expecting maybe it would just like take me right to the end or immediately
Or into the
give me the
minus
ending.
world.
Yeah, into the minus world, exactly. All right. And here we go to the zip lines.
The wall that just never ends. It just loops.
Yeah. Oh my god. Why does it have to be that event?
Right,
Why couldn't it be this?
Sure is nice that there's
Yeah.
a throwing ball right here.
Yeah, it was very, very polite of them.
This would be an intense zip line in real life.
Oh man, we're not even a third of the way through, man. This thing just keeps going.
This is
a
more
really
of
far
a
drop.
this is more of a Ninja Warrior thing. I think.
Seriously.
These levels are actually all connected. We're just now scaling down from all the walls you climbed.
Holy
Yeah.
Imagine falling here. It'd be dust.
All right, we're gonna have time in a second when the timer in the corner reaches 0.
Okay.
Can you land anywhere here or just the top?
Right, and time. You don't have any control there. You just press an A and it automatically just releases you there. All right, so that's American Gladiators. What do we come in at?
26-21.
Oh, that's way above estimate. That's great.
No, it's not. No,
Whatever.
No, you're not at all.
That's not too bad. I wanted to mention as well, the reason why I started playing American Gladiators so much is actually last year my grandmother passed away after a long battle with Alzheimer's. So this game means a whole lot to me. It's one of my first memories I had of her is going to the store and picking it up. And I'm going to actually be signing the cart and either auctioning off or raffling it or something to try and donate to an Alzheimer's foundation. So if you're interested in that, try and find me on Twitter, my stream. I'll be blowing it up like crazy, and I'll match all donations I can because that means a whole lot to me. Thank you guys for watching. This is a really cool game there. Oh, yeah, it's a real good one. But, yeah, the game means a whole lot. I want to thank all the guys for having me here, and hope you guys enjoyed it. Thanks.